And he's back. Newsmax editor Clarence McKee joining us once again. This time we're going to talk about those midterm elections. A lot of predictions being made. A lot of people saying historically, especially when it comes to the House, that the Dems are going to take over. Do you think history is going to repeat itself here? Or?
Not necessarily. I tell you, this is a strange year. I have a lot of faith in the American people. I think they do not like what's been going on. The stuff with the Kavanaugh, it's garbage, and they don't like somebody trying to destroy human beings.
So is that fueling then
I think it's
the
going
Trump
to
base?
make the base come out stronger. Now, here's where this will flip. If the Republicans cave next week and let this man go down the drain, they're going to lose the Senate.
Now, when you say cave, right? I'm sorry, what do you mean, though, by cave?
Oh,
do you mean
not fight, not stand up for
Okay.
What does that mean? Does it mean not hold the vote on Monday? Does it mean
that's what it means.
Well, they can do it Monday, but no later than, was this Wednesday deadline?
Wednesday's when they're supposed to vote on Kavanaugh.
Right.
That's it. No more putting it off. But if he goes down, they're through.
Let me ask you this, Clarence. Sorry, Miranda.
No.
Does the average American even care? We're wonky. Is there a guy this weekend where it's Friday, tomorrow and Sunday, there's going to be a guy out in his yard barbecuing, he's going to have the neighbors over with their kids and their wives. Are they talking about Brett Kavanaugh?
They will. I think they will.
Do you think they will?
It's such a #1 priority now. And it's on all the news networks, right? Some of them are lying about it.
I mean, we're talking about it because that's what we do.
But ultimate fairness, you see.
Right.
Americans are very fair people. They'll say, what is going on here? That's what's going to leak out. And I think the Democrats can overplay their hand.
Yeah.
Being very vicious, trying to destroy a guy, lynching him, crucifying, basically. You don't do that.
I think it's different because of the position. So I do think people are talking about it.
I think Clarence is right. I agree with you that they are. I mean, I know we are, but sometimes I know that we're in a little bit of a bubble doing this every day. We have to consume news. You're a political operative, right? So what we're interested in, I sometimes wonder if every American is, only because we have to.
I agree. Like when it comes to Russia collusion, I don't think people are talking about it.
Yeah, Americans, I don't think are talking.
But I do think when
Kavanaugh,
it comes to Kavanaugh, I do think they are talking about it.
Those hearings are over the day they're on, next week, Wednesday, whole country's going to know about it.
So if Republicans cave in and let's say listen to her demands, his accuser, and
her demands.
Well, she's not wanting to testify until Thursday.
Well,
they want to do it Monday.
I think they allowed her to do that.
I don't know if they've given her the Thursday. So then
she has until today.
She had until today, 10 a.m. to say yes to Monday.
And I think she also now has until today, end of today, to say, are you coming Thursday or not?
So then they have delayed the Wednesday
so,
vote.
Yes. But it should be no more than that. That's what I understand.
Well, I didn't even do it.
We'll have to look into that.
We got to look into
confirm that information. I've not heard that, but definitely confirm that. So what do you think about, we talked about the House a little bit. What about the Senate?
I was always hoping for the Senate, at least 2 to 3 more seats. I remember I said a few weeks ago, they might keep the House by 1 or 2, and we'll probably keep the Senate. I really do. I don't go by the polls anymore. These polls that are out here are like they were in 2016.
Do you think Florida, you think we have a pickup in Florida? Rick Scott wins Bill Nelson's Senate seat?
He's going to have to work very, very hard.
He's got a grassroots here.
Because now Bill Nelson's going to coast on Gilliam, the black gubernatorial candidate's coattails with a solid black vote. He's going to get the downvote.
Let me ask you this, though, Clarence. You've been a student of the Florida electorate for a long time. Why do you think Gillum won? I maintain it was grassroots. He got out there. He shook hands. He kissed babies. He got there with the voters. He didn't. And
then you know what they did? Was it a week before the election when there was a debate in either Tallahassee or Tampa? And he was the only one who showed NAACP debate.
That's right.
He was the only one who showed up. All the others had empty chairs.
But who voted for him? We have about 30 seconds
solid
left.
black vote.
Was it the solid black vote, but was it that far left faction, the same people, if Ocasio-Cortez was down here, was it the same people who turned out? Does that translate to votes in the general?
Plus, I don't know if it translates to the general or not, but George Soros and Steiner gave him big $600,000 right at the end.
Okay.
They're going to kick it in. He's ahead now in money.
Well, Clarence, we got a couple things. We're going to try to clarify that Thursday deadline, and also for our viewers. Also, Rod Rosenstein making headlines. New York Times report coming out, scathing report about Rosenstein, but could that actually be a good thing for the Trump administration?
He's denying.
Yeah, so we're going to explain that coming up next. So a New York Times article is making some headlines on this Friday afternoon. It involves Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. He is now denying that report. In it, it claims that he suggested last year that he secretly record President Trump in the White House to expose the chaos consuming the administration, and he discussed recruiting cabinet members to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove the president from office for being unfit. In other words, he would wear like a wire.
He would basically wear a wire to show the chaos. What the report is saying is that Rosenstein felt used after Trump used the memo Rosenstein wrote to justify the firing of Comey, and that he would try to solicit help from Attorney General Jeff Sessions and then Secretary of Homeland Security John Kelly, who's now the Chief of Staff. Rosenstein, for his part, is vehemently denying this report, and
that can be a good thing, though, because a lot of people have been very critical because he's the one who actually appointed Mueller.
Yeah, let's throw a little analysis out there and get Clarence's take on this. Now, my money is on Andrew McCabe being the source for this because Andrew McCabe's name is mentioned. We know McCabe is facing a federal grand jury. Well, we have some pretty strong reports that he's facing a federal grand jury.
He has a book coming out.
He's got a book coming out. He's got a lot to lose, and Rosenstein also had a say in his firing because he was a senior person at FBI and DOJ oversees FBI. So I would bet that Andrew McCabe is a source. Now, what the left is saying on social media is, and it's actually pretty interesting, I was reading it, almost comical. No, the Trump administration leaked this. It's totally phony to give Trump cover to fire Rod Rosenstein. But we all know the New York Times would never run a story that would help Trump do anything. So I think McCabe is the source. But here's what's interesting to me, Clarence. I want to get your take on this. Does this mean, and I'm not sure it does, but does this or at least raise the possibility that Rosenstein is more of a Trump ally than people think, and that the New York Times is now trying to drive a wedge and destroy him? Or is this Andrew McCabe, who was just more partisan than Rod Rosenstein, giving the Times source information and the Times not being able to resist?
My choice on this?
You got your choice on this, my friend.
I don't believe a thing in the New York Times.
Yeah, we agree on that.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
So you don't believe any of it?
You think they ran it without any source? That they just making it up as they go?
Why? To hurt somebody, to bring up more Bob Woodward and Bernstein.
But they're saying several anonymous sources. The story is saying several anonymous sources. Right. What would the end game be if the conventional wisdom is that Rod Rosenstein appointed Bob Mueller, and Mueller's job is to take down Trump, to end his presidency by creating the illusion of wrongdoing?
They all wind up happily living after together with Trump gone.
But why would the New York Times try to hurt Rosenstein? What would be their end game?
That wouldn't. I don't know if that's trying to hurt in whose eyes.
Yeah.
This would not hurt Rosenstein in the eyes of the deep state at all.
Give Trump cover to fire him.
Well, he's going to fire him one day eventually anyway. But he doesn't need any more cover. After the midterms, a lot of people are going to get fired. I think a lot's going to happen. All the FISA worries that are going on, and these people bucking the President of the United States, Rosenstein, the Attorney General. I think a lot of heads are going to roll November 7th.
All right, final analysis. You think the New York Times did this on their own? 20 seconds.
They lied. I don't trust them at all.
Wow.
Okay,
but
there you go.
Not on their own. They did it from some source, but it wasn't true.
All right, I want to just real quickly, because you brought it up.
No,
the Senate Judiciary Committee reaching what they hope will be a compromise with Brett Kavanaugh's accuser. You kind of brought this up. We're not sure which way it's going to go, but right now they're settling on Wednesday.
Well, they countered with Wednesday.
They countered with Wednesday. Yeah, I'm sorry. They settled on giving that date. We don't know if she's going to accept it or not because she wanted to do Thursday.
If they don't accept it, tough. Vote.
Well, that's fair. That keeps the vote on Wednesday in place. It gives her time to testify an extra day or two. That's fair. If she doesn't accept that, they need to go forward with the vote no matter what.
And stay tuned to Newsmax TV for any other developments.
All right, Clarence, great to see you. Thanks for being with us today. Always great to see you.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, I'm going to give you an update on some of the stories that are making headlines like these, and we will see you back here Monday. Until then, have a wonderful weekend, and stay tuned. The Todd Schnitt Show is coming up next.